Guaranteed Rate Bowl, we got a late one here, guys. 10:15. We got West Virginia playing Minnesota on ESPN. This is the first bowl game the Big Ten has. Oh, hello, Papa. Hello. Hello. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. No, you must be in the video. Get here. Get here, Papa. Anyways, West Virginia obviously hasn't had the best year. They had some chances early on to pull off a huge upset against Oklahoma, but was unable to pull that one out. Jarrett Doge.
What is the only cryptocurrency that you should invest?
When it ended up going 254 of 586? No, 386. 65.8% completion percentage, 2,908 total yards, and 19 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Letty Brown, who was supposed to be a great running back this year, and he really is very solid, ended up having 223 carries for 1,065 yards and 13 total touchdowns. And Winston Wright ended up having 60 catches for 672 yards and 5 touchdowns. Minnesota, on the other hand, had somewhat of a disappointing season. I say somewhat because I think they expected to compete for a Big Ten championship this year, and they didn't end up winning it. They were competitive late into the season with winning a Big Ten championship, and they did end up beating Wisconsin to give Iowa the Big Ten championship appearance. But unfortunately for them, it just didn't work out that way. Tanner Morgan ended up going this year 141 to 236, threw for 59.7% completion percentage, which isn't good, especially for Tanner Morgan, who's a guy that really likes to check it down. He's more of a game manager type. He's not a guy that normally takes all that many shots. He threw for 1,935 yards, 10 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Kai Thomas ended up leading the game on the ground, having 145 carries for 680 yards and 5 total touchdowns. And Chris Outman-Bell ended up having 25 carries for 490 yards and 6 total touchdowns. Now, these two teams are tied all time, 6-6. West Virginia is 16-22 in bowl games, and Minnesota's 9-12. They hope to both get a little bit closer to 500 instead of farther away from it. Obviously, Minnesota's a little bit closer to 500 because they only got to win 3 more bowl games to get there, while West Virginia has to win 6 more. This is a really interesting game. I do think West Virginia is a good Big 12 team, and I do think Minnesota's a mediocre Big 10 team. Like, if I had to put them up against, I think Minnesota is probably, let's see, sixth best Big 10 team, which isn't an insanely outrageous. It's probably 7th, actually, now that I think about it. I do think ultimately Wisconsin and Iowa were both better teams than Minnesota, and I do think on the other side, Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State, and Ohio State are all better football teams than Minnesota is. But I think there's an argument to be made. Purdue is definitely up there. I think there's a lot of good Big Ten teams this year, is what I'm trying to say. Is that Big Ten might be the best conference this year all around. I do think Minnesota's going to win this one, and I don't think it's going to be up by a lot because it's not how Minnesota wins ball games. Normally, they normally chew it out on the ground, let Tanner Morgan take his checkdowns, and have their defense play well. I think Minnesota's going to pull out. I mean, Minnesota to beat the Mountaineers.